Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Jason with Jadren Aquatics. Thanks for hanging out with me again. So today we're going to talk about 5 things that you just have to have for your aquarium. Whether you have one or you got a fish room with hundreds of fish tanks. These are things that you probably really wouldn't think of, and there are probably some of these things that you've never even actually seen before, but some of them come in really, really handy. Things that I have learned from other people that I have just grown to love, and I wouldn't know what to do without these things. And now this is not your things like fish food. Yeah, we know you need fish food, or we know you need water. These aren't those type of things. These are things that you wouldn't normally think about. So these aren't in really any kind of order. So let's start with the very first one. The very first thing we have right here, get a closer look at this thing. This is a liquid level indicator. Now what's cool about this thing is when you see on it, it's got 3 prongs on it. And these things, it just simply runs on a 9-volt battery. And this can tell you whenever you're filling something up, when it's about to be too full. So let's say you're topping off an aquarium, or you're filling up a trash can full of water, or when I use it, when I'm filling up the huge container that I have of water, I use this thing all the time because I have let the water run over about 1.5 million times, and I get so tired of it. I don't know what it is. I start the water and then I just completely forget what the heck is going on. So this thing has come in super handy. So what happens is you put this thing and you lock it down. You kind of got to make something for it so that you can actually get it to mount just right. But let's say you put it on top of a tank and it actually sits there. And so when the water gets up high enough and it gets up and it touches these 2 connectors right here, it makes a connection. So what it does is it starts making that alarm sound. And that alarm sound tells you, hey, the water is almost there. And if the water makes it all the way to the top, it then connects all 3 of them. And then you get this full-blown alarm that goes off screaming at you. I can't tell you how many times this thing has gone off and I'm sitting there and I thought, oh my gosh, I forgot I had the water going. So it saved me. This thing is $10. Every one of these things, I'll link it down below so you guys can find it yourself. There's a bunch of different kinds like this, but this is one of the easiest ones to actually use. And man, I just absolutely love this one. The only problem is I let this one like get submerged one time, so sometimes it doesn't always work right. So I need to buy a new one. All right, the second thing that you have got to have in your fish arsenal is, if you guys are enjoying this video, be sure and hit that like button, and don't forget to share it on Facebook, or share it on Twitter, or share it anywhere you want. Don't forget to also subscribe and hit that notification bell. This bad boy right here, okay? This is basically like a portable GFCI outlet for you as a protector. So not every plug I have in my fish room is on a GFCI circuit. So if the heater was to go out and go, you know, terribly wrong, or one of the lights was to fall into the water, I'm just gonna get shocked, or there's gonna end up being a fire. But this is something that actually will prevent that. So if you want to, you can actually take like a strip and plug the entire strip into this thing, and then plug everything else into that strip. And therefore, if anything like the light falls into the water and it causes a short, this thing will automatically trip like it's a breaker, and it'll turn off the power completely. So you don't have to worry about some catastrophe happening, or worst case scenario, you electrocute yourself. So this thing is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love this thing. These are about $17. All right, the next thing on the list is this bad boy right here. Now this is a remote control outlet. This is one of the things out of all of this that I probably use the most. And so you can see it's just got the normal where it plugs into the wall, and then it's got 2 outlets, and then you get a remote control with it. So you take this device, plug it into the wall, and then plug in whatever you want to be able to control with this remote control. And the best thing that you can use this for is on a pump. And so I have a 40-gallon trash can that I keep water in all the time, RO DI water, and that's what I use to top off my shrimp tanks because I don't have an automatic drip system on those. So what I can do is I can hook this up, plug this thing in, plug the pump directly into this, and then I have a long hose, and I can run that hose to on the back side of the fish room where I can't even see the trash can anymore, and then I can simply push this button, and then it turns this outlet on, and therefore automatically turns the pump on. And so I can sit there and watch it, and so that when it actually gets to the point where it's about full, I don't have to come flying around and trip and kill myself. I can simply take this button and push it, and it immediately turns this power off, and therefore the power to the pump goes off. No more water coming out. So this thing is fantastic. I've also used this with lighting. If you have, say you come out to the fish room at night and you want to have some quick lighting, you can have this plugged into just a single light. And then you just have this hanging by the front door or the back door, however it is when you come in. Just grab it, turn it on, and you've got a quick light instead of having to have a light switch. So this thing is absolutely priceless. This you just have to have. This one, like this one is $10. Again, I'll link every one of these things down below. All right, next thing. This thing's a little bit different. This is Polyfill. This is the stuffing like they use in pillows and I think whenever they do like blankets or something, they'll put some of this stuff in there to give it that fluffiness to it. So you're thinking, Jason, what in the world do I need stuffing for in the fish room? Well, this stuff right here, this stuff makes great filter floss. This is one of the easiest ways to get your water absolutely crystal clear. So what you can do is just take this and put it into some type of power filter, a hang on the back, or maybe a canister filter, and put this in there where the media normally goes and let the water run through this, and this thing will clean your water like crazy. This is some other stuff that I use a lot. The way that I use it with a simple little pump. Let me show you how I do this. Okay, so this is just a simple power head, okay? So it's got a place here where it sucks in the water, and then it's got a place here where it jets out the water. So what I do is I just take a simple, this is a water bottle that I've cut in half, and I get it, and I just put it on the end there where the water sucks in, and then I take this filter floss, and I put it in there like that, and then I drop this thing down in the water, and I turn it on so it's pulling all of that water through there. And you would be shocked at how dirty this thing gets and how quickly it cleans your tank. So this stuff is absolutely priceless in your aquarium, in your fish room, or again, if you just have one fish tank. It's a great way to polish the water really quickly and extremely cheap, because you can get that whole big bag of this stuff for about $5 bucks. All right, so that was the fourth thing. So we've got one left to go. What's the last one? These are not done by the top ones. This just happens to be the fifth one. I think the plug-in one is probably actually my favorite. So the very last thing is this infrared laser thermometer. This thing makes life really, really easy when you're trying to figure out a temperature on a tank. Instead of having thermometers in every single one of your tanks, you can just quickly go up to the tank, aim it at the tank itself so that you're aiming at like the center of where the water is, and it's got a red laser beam. I don't know if that, oh, it kind of gets it there, doesn't it? It's got a red laser beam so you can see exactly where you're aiming, and so that when you shoot it at something like that, it tells you exactly what the temperature is in that aquarium. And so if you're wondering if you got a tank that's up high, because my tanks up high are usually about 3 or 4 degrees hotter than the ones on the bottom. So I can just go around and I can look at all my tanks and I can get an idea of about what their temperature is. Or if you've got a tank that you've got a heater actually running on and you want to kind of keep an eye on it, then you simply take this thing, aim it at that water, and get the temperature that you need. So this thing is another thing that's priceless. And what's also cool about this thing is, let's say you're bored and you got nothing else to do and it's nighttime, you go outside with your dog and you take this thing and you aim it at the fence and you run it up and down the fence back and forth, and you can sit there for hours and watch your dog chase it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until he is absolutely, or she is absolutely exhausted. So another thing you just absolutely have to have in your fish room or aquarium arsenal. So I want to know from you guys, what is it that you have? Leave a comment down below and tell me, what is it that you have in your fish room or with your aquarium that you absolutely think that everyone else should have? Be sure and leave that down in the comments down below. I would love to be able to hear from each and every one of you guys. You got any other comments or any other questions about some of the stuff that I listed here? Again, I'll have it all listed, linked down below if you guys gonna wanna go check it out for yourself. So thanks again, guys, and God bless.